Hey everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Podcast. We are back. This is your host, Bryan here, and I'm here with DeYante.
My name's not back. My name's forward.
What?
You said we're back.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Man, that's how we're starting the day off.
I'm already tired of your shit.
That's not me name. That's not me name.
I'm already tired of your
Oh God.
I'll be quiet
Oh,
for now.
I'm here with Clayton.
What up, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes? It's Pride Month.
And I'm here with
Arr.
Max. Wait, you are like a fucking pirate.
Let's see. What's going on, everybody? Long time no see.
So yeah, we're back. We're going to do a two-part episode this time around on our Momocon 2023 experience. Last year we only went for that one day, and it was like a spur of the moment type thing. But this year we actually was like, all right, let's like plan it, get some lodging. Let's get the three-day pass or the 4-day pass, even though we went to 3 days. And plan around that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. Some positives, lots of positives, but some negatives too. And we'll kind of talk about all of those and navigate through all of those. So for this first episode, the first thing I'm going to kind of start off with kind of like an elevator pitch of why you should go to Momocon. We'll kind of like talk about our experiences of why you should go, how like kind of the event is ran itself, and why you should plan to go to it. So I'll start one. For one, as people of color, it is a very welcoming event.
Yes.
There's a lot of Black-centered panels. There's a lot of, Black cosplayers, Black content creators, Black artists. Like, as person of color, African Americans, it is dope. Like, to be kind of in that space, with fellow nerds, fellow anime lovers, gamers, and all that stuff. That feels a very welcoming area where you don't feel out of place, just to like what you like in terms of that aspect. Clayton, Maxim, I want to pitch in.
Yes, I do. Momocon. I am a avid Momocon-er, if that's a verb. I think this is my fourth time going to Momocon.
Oh.
It has, even with us coming out of COVID and whatnot, they're steadily progressing with everything. Like they have an app now that you can like schedule your day if you want to go to the panels. But Momocon really has something for everybody. It's not just panels to go to. You can go out to the courtyard and hang out with some other nerds if you want to. You can go to the bottom exhibition hall and just play games all day if you want to. You can play the foreign arcade machines and stuff like that, or you can just bring your controller, play Smash, or play some retro games if you want to. You can go and watch tournaments because the tournaments go on pretty much the entire time. But I know Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's like the elimination rounds. The big day is on Sunday. You can just walk around the convention and like look at different cosplayers and just hang out if you want to. You can go to the back and go to the manga hall and just sit down and read manga all day if you want to. Like, there's so many things for you to do. You can't possibly experience all of Momocon by going to it one time. And they always do different things every time too. There's just so much to it. So you can go there and just do it however you want to do it and just have fun with it.
And to add to that, to add to what Bryan said previously, it's located in Atlanta, Georgia. And if for the people who don't see the significance in that, Atlanta has really grown to be its like own like person of color, mainly black people, in being called the Southern like Hollywood or then like the new Black Hollywood or something like that. So seeing all this representation throughout the panels and cosplays, and even thinking about one of the panels I went to on Sunday, the last day of the con, about black cosplayers and how we start to fit into the cosplay space is a beautiful thing to see. Like I love seeing all the melanin. I was seeing all my fellow cosplayers because I cosplay Friday and Saturday. That's I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I just really enjoy my time, and it's you only get 4 days if you get the 4-day pass. We only went to 3 because Thursday was mainly like a traveling day, or we had something that we had to do.
Work.
Yeah, you had work. I was coming from a concert in South Carolina. Max was where?
At work.
Work. But yeah, like I'm excited for next year. There's a lot more that I want to talk about this year, but I'll save that for a little bit later.
So DeYante, as the one who wasn't able to go to Momocon this year, any questions about the experience? You can be the listener who hasn't gone before. Any questions about the experience or something you would want to know about going to Momocon?
Hey, he's never gone to Momocon.
Based off of what Max was saying,
Look at this loser.
I make good financial decisions. You leave me alone.
Fuck you, right?
With the way Max was like painting this beautiful picture of it, would you say it's like a more open-ended thing because you can pretty much go and do whatever the hell you want?
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not like you go into like GMEA or FMEA to go professional develop. By the way, if you wanted to, you could do that because you have plenty of people talking on panels on like
Educational
music. Yeah, right. Music industry stuff. I went to a panel on world building, like 101. Where they talked about things you should do if you're like building your own fantasy world. They have stuff like that. If you want to go to professional develop, you can do that. If you want to go to talk about if you would smash like fucking Nurse Joy from Pokemon, you could do that.
Wait, hold up.
I know.
Yeah, there's a panel.
I'm so serious. And it's so ridiculous. The scope of it is so ridiculous that you can go there for any reason you want. Basically, again, if you want to be by yourself and just go there to whoop people's asses whoop random's asses on Smash in the exhibition hall, you can do that. If you want to go
Embarrass somebody,
right? They have all day. They have literally just screenings of different anime. If you want to go there and watch anime with other people, you can do that. If you just want to sit out,
have it on and just like, all right, go ahead and just watch this.
Yeah, different panels. Like, but pretty much they'll they like turn the lights off. They have a projector on. And you just go in there and watch anime. Mm-hmm. You can do that.
There's many cosplay
competitions.
Avenues. There's like, like I remember one of them was like a Steven Universe like fan meetup thing where like everybody dressed up as Steven Universe characters and stuff like that and took like mass pictures. And kind of also what Max was saying, there's a lot of networking that you can do there.
I figured that was pretty big.
Like one of the cool things, I met 2 like cool big name rappers. One of them was Substantial. He used to work with New Jabez, and Samurai Champloo soundtrack. And then of course me meeting freaking Daryl McDaniels, like the actual DMC from Run DMC.
Oh shit!
Like that was wild. And just other like big name celebrities and stuff was there too. So that was also another cool just aspect. Just, and I know Clayton met one that he wants to talk about.
Okay, so one of my favorite voice actors is J. Michael Tatum. He voiced Kyoya from Autumn High School Host Club. He voiced Arwen from Attack on Titan. He voiced Sebastian McKinley's from Black Butler, and and Tenya Ida from My Hero Academia. and let's a list of just a list of like all these other characters, mainly because he started working with Funimation, but now the merger with Funimation and Crunchyroll. Anyway, all that stuff. So yeah, love that. There was also a Q&A panel. Well, with Avatar The Last Airbender voice actors. So voice actors for Korra from Legend of Korra, Toph, Ty Lee, Azula, and Uncle Iroh. Oh, and Sokka. Loved them, loved everybody. The only person that I truly wanted to meet was the person who voice acted my favorite character from my favorite anime, was Johnny Young Bosch, who voiced Lelouch Lamperouge from Code Geass. Missed him. The panels were full because, as Bryan and Max were saying, you could either go to Momocon for like experience, you could go for professional development. I would kind of did a mixture of both. So I chose between the latter, like either Johnny on Bosch, or I go to this panel for professional development, which was making music online with the Living Tombstone. And if you don't know who Living Tombstone is, go check them out on YouTube. They have, I think, almost 10 million subscribers and stuff like that. So they know what they're doing. I also went to another panel with.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there was also another panel that I went to on Sunday with Daryl McDaniels and his writer for his comic book, which he has, about building your brand. So that was another thing that interested me. People of color in cosplay with Yaya Han. If you don't know who she is, she's this amazing cosplayer. She was back on Heroes of Cosplay back in 2014. And I actually met her at Florida SuperCon then. Well, no, not Florida SuperCon, Animate Miami. And they filmed for a TV episode there. It was on Sci-Fi and stuff like that. So I was getting a well-rounded experience between pleasure and business, because there are a few other projects that I'm working on and stuff that I could like incorporate into the Sound Test podcast, that we can do stuff like that. So I was doing research. I was taking my notes. I brought my iPad, took notes and stuff like that. But yeah, and the also fun aspect was, again, cosplaying. I don't even know if I want to talk. Wait, did I talk about cosplay?
We could say that part for the end when we talk about like things about what you should know.
Oh yeah.
Another question, as far as content creator like representation, was that a pretty big thing? Like, did you see anybody that y'all either recognize in like a YouTube space or somewhere else?
Instagram. I actually took a picture with one of the influencers I follow. His name is Cloudy McDoom.
That sounds like such a fake name.
No. I know who Max is talking about.
He's on Instagram primarily. Instagram, like social media. His videos are really cool. He's a black creator, black nerd. He was there. He made a video of just him. He was dressed as Sora, and he just recorded a video of him like walking like Sora with different with his fans and whatnot. Let me see if I can find that picture.
One content creator that I liked, that we all went to a panel to. I don't know if you know him, DeYante, Saber Spark.
That name sounds vaguely familiar. I feel like I've heard that.
His niche on YouTube is cartoon reviews, not necessarily anime, but more specific cartoon reviews. But he is hilarious.
So funny.
He was hilarious. He was hilarious. But here's the picture I was talking about.
Saber Spark.
No,
this
was Cloudy McDoom.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Cloudy did start off on Vine, right? And he had a really huge following.
I didn't use Vine. I'm gonna be honest. I missed out on that phase of like growing up. I did not use Vine.
But yeah, there was a lot of content creators there. Both on the cosplay side of things, YouTubers, like artists,
voice
actors. Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay.
Especially for the money, because we bought the 4-day pass, which was like $80.
$80.
Yeah, but
that's not bad at all.
It's not, and you get a lot from there. And even if you're going to say, hey, I might just go to 1 day, it's kind of better just to get the 4-day pass, because like 1 day is like 50 or 60,
$50 goddamn dollars.
And if you decide to
Yeah.
go to another day, then you're paying another 50 to 60 on top of that. So it's just it just makes more sense to get a 4-day pass. You know, even
And
if you
just
just want to
chance
go
it.
one day, right? And if you like it, you could go. Oh, I'll come back the next day, and you know you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, unless you know you're only gonna be there for one day. But if you're gonna go for one day, go on Saturday. Saturday
Yeah.
is the big day. Like Thursday, it's kind of Friday has a lot of things going on, but Friday's a lot more like cosplay related stuff.
But Friday's also more chill, which I like.
Yeah, Friday was a lot more chill. That
Saturday
shit's gonna be
was-
crowded on Saturday, boy. That shit was crowded.
Like after following, because I like the Facebook page for Momocon, over 43,000 people attended Momocon that weekend.
Damn.
I was like,
And you
That was a lot.
can tell it when you go through the crowds. You can tell it.
especially waiting for those escalators going up. How you have two going down and one going up? What the fuck?
It did make there's a lot of like small stuff
Logistical.
that was annoying. Yeah, the small stuff that was annoying that they could have fixed. Also, I gotta give a round of applause. This was the least amount of stench that I smelled at Momocon. The least. Oh my
Yup.
god, last year was terrible. Last year was fucking awful. But this year, I think the year before last, the one where me and you went, Clayton, that one was terrible.
Bro, that was
Was
bad.
terrible.
Bro,
I smelled
like,
some smells that shouldn't exist.
listen, I just I bought a ticket to go to Momocon, not a fish market. That's all I gotta say.
Nah, because I had to. I was standing in this line for this game. It was like it was an arcade game. It's that one. It's that Japanese drum. I forgot what it's called, but you play with those two
The
sticks.
taiko drums.
Yeah, but this girl standing in front of me, that shit stunk so bad. I had to turn around and talk to Clayton. I was like, "Hey, Clayton, I'm just like preventing myself from smelling whatever the hell's going on over there."
Oh, yeah, we're not just
Bro.
targeting women. Believe me, we're not just targeting women. The men are terrible too.
Trust me, bro. There was one guy standing in. I remember this time. There's somebody standing there with like degree in like deodorant.
And you're just like, come on now, we can do better.
Right.
Bro,
I was
like-
joking. I might cosplay as degree man. Just come strapped with like deodorant on my side.
Bro, like I remember when I was on the way to the Avatar panel that I went to, some guy had a sign that said this was Saturday. This ticket was $55.
Oh, I know
Deodorant.
the exact one.
$4. I'm like, yeah, please get our priorities straight before you get a ticket and you go to this event.
Like, there's no excuse for you to
Yeah,
exceed the
this
limit.
guy.
Yes, this con $4.
Bro, it's
And he
just not-
and he
it's
was
to
just
make-
he was just standing right in the center, just standing so everybody could see it.
There's no
Bro.
reason your ass should be funking that bad.
Is it? I couldn't say it.
Oh, hold up.
Hit him with that karate chop.
You can't read the words on here, but it said this con $55, deodorant $4. Don't be stinky.
Don't be stinking.
Don't be stinky.
He's just like, come on, dog.
Right. In the face too. He's like,
It's like, come on, bro.
Like,
all right, so
Just-
let's move on to the actual panels. We're gonna discuss mostly day one today on this podcast. So we arrived there kind of just in time for the, I believe it was the 11:30 panels. Hold up, yeah, like the 11:30 panels. So the panel I went to was Guess That Anime. And it should have been Guess That Anime theme song. But Max, were you?
I went to that one with you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was there with you. Yes.
And so like they split the room up into halves. So it was like an A team and a B team. And they would play like the different categories was modern anime openers, modern anime closers, endings, classic anime openers, classic anime endings, and then like a special category where it was just dubbed anime only. And
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of like, you know, back and forth. All right, if this team couldn't get it, this team would get the points for it or whatever. And I think the prizes were like candy or whatever. But that joint was fun.
Mhm.
Especially when it's just like something you know off the tip of your head. Like, and you can't remember what it is.
It's right there.
Bro.
I just watched, bro. Anime I just watched like a couple of days ago. I couldn't recall.
And some of that stuff was like, it was some deep cuts in there. It was some isekais in there with those long titles that you had to say properly.
Say exactly.
They played a couple. Right. They played a couple where nobody in the room heard of it. No, there's like hundreds of people in the room.
Right.
And not one heard of that damn
like,
opening. We're like, what the fuck is this? No, that's exactly how it is.
Oh, and a lot of those panels are like standing room only. Like some there, and they'll have like a lot of chairs in there, and there's still people like standing up,
bunched up against the wall. It's that crowded, bro. But those ones, like, they're so fun because you can act a complete ass. Like it's so fun. It's just really having a lot of fun with other nerds that are also acting a complete ass.
So in that panel, it started a trend and an inside joke between me and Max, and that was Black excellence.
Yes,
because like in that panel, the first person that got the first that won the first thing was a Black person. Then the next person, Black. Third person, Black. Fourth person, Black. And it was it was like it was a trend where just all these Black people was getting all the right answers. All the Black people were winning the points, and we was just like, yeah, Black excellence. and that joke carried through the rest of the con.
Bro, that shit, it legitimately did. Like the other days too, bro. From Friday to Sunday, bro. Honestly.
Hey, well then at that point you gotta think of it as a beautiful thing.
Clayton, what did you go to on that during that time slot?
So at the 11:30, I went to the Living Tombstone Q&A because I'm like, hey, actually, I forgot to look up, but they living. Wow, I can't spell. Okay, but I went to the Q&A because I'm like, oh shit, I listened to the Living Tombstone like years back and all that stuff, and I had some questions for them because I'm like, I'm trying to like produce my own music. I wanted to see their setup because I have a similar setup to them. What plugins and all that stuff. So I asked questions. Like audience asked questions. They performed the next day, which it was a hard decision I had to make between the conflicting panel and the performance. But they even talked about some of the projects that they were doing. And it was con exclusive, so I don't have any recordings or any pictures of that, but they have some really cool stuff coming out. Some if you're into EDM or more electronic music, I should suggest giving them a chance because it's all video game or like bass and stuff like that, since songs that put them on the map were like their Five Nights at Freddy's songs, and they made a song for each of the installments of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. And I'm also looking at some of their more famous stuff. What really put them on the map was Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was just very informative, especially in terms of how to produce music, which I really thought that really wasn't going to be about, but it turned into that because of the audience questions and me being a catalyst for that. But I enjoyed it, loved every second of it. Really cool music. And distortions, and they play around with, believe it or not, I believe one of them really did go to school for music, like they have their bachelor's in music. So he was explaining about the theory and all that stuff, and I believe he was talking about counterpoint at one point, and I'm like, counterpoint, oh, here we go, you get in my ear now. So love him, we'll do it again. Yeah, that was my 11:30 slot for that day.
I've never heard a singular solitary song from Five Nights at Freddy's, so that would have been.
I didn't know Five Nights at Freddy's had music.
No. So like, it's not official.
It's like music inspired by, right?
Yeah, inspired, not like taking from.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like an original soundtrack, and they were the.
So like they might take audio clips from the from the video game, because there's a specific melody that plays. Yeah, like if an animatronic enters the office or something like that, there's a sound for that, or you completing a night, there's a sound for that, and they would take that and use that in their music, like whether it's an intro or maybe like a leitmotif or something of the sorts.
Okay.
Moving on to that 1 o'clock slot. I think we all did like different things during this time.
Yeah.
I went to the Super Smash Brothers trivia showdown, which was like very. So a lot of these panels are going to be like crowd participation heavy, which is good because Momocon has just so many people. So for the Smash Brothers one, they made 4 teams of like 5, and it was like Jeopardy style where they had to answer the questions. Some of them were like really basic though, like really basic. Like one of the questions was like, I think it was like a $300, like the $300 level question on Monopoly, and it was like, oh, what was the original 8 characters on Smash Brothers 64 without the unlocks? And somehow a group still got that wrong.
Well, I guess if you don't play Smash,
But
you
if
would know. But why would you go to a Smash Bros. Trivia if you didn't ever play the game?
Agree. Yeah. Then you're oblivious to it.
But that one was pretty fun, especially when you're like hanging out in the back and just doing and saying dumb shit. So it was, I think me and Khalid went to that panel, and we were just around the other like black people in the back, and it was stupid.
Love to see it. Let's see, the panel I went to, the World of Avatar nostalgia bending. So that was with the voice actors of Avatar: The Last Airbender with Korra, Tyler. So, yeah, loved it. I got to ask a question, and my question was, what was the most difficult scene for you to record, and for what, like why? And I gave the example, like if you know anything about Avatar: The Last Airbender, Tales of Ba Sing Se. There was an episode where, there was a part of the episode where Iroh sang "Leaves from the Vine," and it was in memory of somebody who actually passed, who was involved with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and in context, Iroh was singing about his dead son who passed away in the previous war. So I was thinking like, maybe that was an example, and they answered pretty well. I believe I have the video, but I'm not gonna strain the audience with my question, but I'll have that. I might post that.
You asked a deep cut, boy. Good lord.
Yeah. No, that was a really good question. It was. I like the better questions where the audience asking. Some of the audience members ask some dumbass questions.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Like I understand like the hype for these characters and all that stuff. Personally, when somebody asks, "What would your character do?" blah blah blah, if they're in this situation, I'm like,
and I'm like, Doug, you're wasting a question, and we only have a little bit of time.
Exactly. Right. Like I want to pick their brains because maybe they might think of me like, hey, there's that guy that asked that really good question, and that happened when I went to a later on another panel with J. Michael Tatum, and I asked a deep question, and then like he remembered me. I was like, oh shit. And he even remembered me from years back when I showed him a picture when I first met him at 2015 Florida SuperCon. He said, "Oh, I remember you. You were nervous." Blah blah blah.
What was the quote you said to us that you told him?
Oh, okay. So it's like on another day of the con, I believe it was Saturday, and it was a My Hero Academia panel with him and a question proctor up on stage, and I asked my questions like, what as artists, we are compilations of all of our experiences and our roles and stuff like that. So what would you take with you voicing Tenya Ida in your future projects and stuff like that? He answered, well, he's a really funny character. And then at the end, I asked him, can you say period poo?
He did ask him that.
And he was like,
he did ask
what?
him that.
He was like, what? It was like, can you say period poo? And like I did the hand gesture and stuff like that.
You had to describe it, and it took him like 4 or 5 tries for him to get it right.
Exactly.
And then the crowd went ballistic once he got it, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Once he got it, and the funniest part, he said it in Tenya Ida's voice. He was like, period. I was like, I did it for the
menace.
I did
Bruh,
it for the
no.
culture.
She did it, bro. I loved it because Clayton asked some good ass questions. The back to the Avatar panel too. Like it was cool seeing all of their actual personalities too, and like Sokka, the voice actor for Sokka, he's actually like a funny guy.
Mm,
Uh,
yes.
you had the voice actor for Azula.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Icon.
And the voice actor for Iroh is actually an Avatar fan, and it was pretty dope. He was very good at articulating what he was trying to say too. Like he spoke very intelligently. Like he had his own panel later in the con tea with Uncle Iroh where you could just ask him questions. I didn't go to it, but I could have imagined that would have been an awesome panel to go to.
I think they had that panel every year because I remember that was a panel last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
It's pretty awesome when the voice actors are also fans of the show. Like you don't get that as much as you would think. But
because that means they're actually actively a part of the process.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, present in the world.
Right, it's not just the job; they're doing it because they want to.
Yeah.
they're actual fans, and I love it. And I think it's also great that they reflect on their. Oh, I heard a vehicle, but
They
I think-
Tokyo drifting on DeYante's side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
but
Sorry.
I love how they what's it? Oh yeah, I love how they reflect on their roles and their impact on the community because of the roles that they played. So especially when the voice actress for Korra was like, yeah, I was watching an episode and all that stuff. I'm like, I didn't know Korra would do this, blah blah blah, because they have no prior knowledge as to where the script is going to go. They are just given the script and they deliver the line, they go talk with their director and stuff like that. So it was great insight into the world of voice acting and how you, the performer, can impact an entire like community, because you can form communities just based off of the roles that you play. Like maybe the story is not that great, but people remember voices. They do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, didn't they play in this anime, or didn't I hear them somewhere else? Like they will remember you. So it's great meeting, in my eyes, legends, because I've created a 226 questionnaire from
He
them.
did.
Like I kid
My
you.
goodness.
So I titled this Avatar: The Last Airbender quiz questions. This was just the first 3 books. That's 266 questions I created because I am a super fan. And one of the questions: what causes Aang to regain access to the Avatar state? And that was at the end of book 2.
Getting his back blown out by a rock.
Stop.
You had to put it like that, but that is correct. Right. Because there's a scar on his back when Azula shot fire at him, and then he landed backwards on the scar, like when they were underground and stuff like that. And then the Avatar state, whoosh, he's back, and then that's the end of book 2. Yay!
Yes. Moving on.
All right. The 230 panels. I think we all went to the same panel, which was
The revisiting the Boondocks.
revisiting of the Boondocks. So this is one of those times where I'm like, all right, this is a panel for Black people.
Yes.
Because that joke was hilarious. It was just like, yeah, it was just literally just her name was Haryana Hook. I remember she was at the panel last year, and she was here this year. This time I actually like followed her, subscribed to her YouTube channel. But she has a great personality, great insight, and it's basically, it started with her telling her experience about Boondocks and how she got into it. But then we also started talking about like the cultural aspect of Boondocks, what worked at the time, what doesn't work today, parts of like, how some of that stuff aged well, some stuff didn't. Some of the stuff, like, it's funny how accurate some of that stuff was back in like 05, 06, and it's still relevant today in 2023.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They also talked about the characters too. Sorry to cut you off, Brian.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, they talked about like how Huey, he is very much a character that knows a lot of stuff in theory, but not in practice, because at the end of the day, he's like 10 and hasn't really experienced much. And I forgot somebody asked that question. It was really good. And there was just a lot of good discussion. One thing I really do like about it is they kept it Boondocks related. Like some of the questions were trying to, which we're starting to get more into the Black experience type stuff, completely removed from Boondocks. But she herself like kept it related to Boondocks. She made it a point to keep it related to Boondocks.
Mm-hmm. Because again, like the Boondocks is just like any other animated like show, like whether it's anime, whether it's Western cartoon, it's an over exaggeration of everything. All the characters over exaggerated. Like it's like you go from one extreme to the other because the Black experience cannot correctly correlate with specific characters. You may know somebody who has certain attributes or may act like certain characters from the show, but like characters like Stinkmeaner or Huey or right, like we don't 100% have people like that within our community, and they are there to provide entertainment because at the end of the day, it's an animated show, and most animated shows are geared towards entertainment, not education.
Right, but the one point she did make that I liked was Boondocks is such a unique show because we don't really have anything else that's like Boondocks still. You know, like there's now we've gotten to a point where there are, you know, Black children's shows, and you know, one of the things she mentioned out there was Dinosaur Girl and no, it was Moon Girl and Dinosaur whatever.
Yeah,
the Marvel junk. I
Dinosaur Girl.
I know the comic. I'm just messing up the name. I think it's Moon Girl. Somebody look that up.
Dinosaur Girl.
Devil Dinosaur and something else. And then you have like Craig of the Creek. But she was also saying like specifically we don't really have like an adult animated, you know, cartoon anymore. And there was Black Dynamite, and that lasted for like 2 seasons, and that was kind of like it. And we don't have anything else to represent our culture from the adult animation space like anymore. And you see so much, and especially when streaming services kind of like took off, you see a lot of more adult animated shows now than ever before because they can put it on streaming services, and you know you don't have to worry about censors or you know playing advertisements being played on those programs. You can kind of just go wild with that. You know, a crazy case like that is like Harley Quinn. Like Harley Quinn would never existed if it wasn't for streaming. Up, Bryan. I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better now, or am I still chunky?
Chunky.
Like getting closer to the mic ain't gonna help that, but
you're good on my end.
I stopped moving a lot, so maybe that helped with the bandwidth. But I mean, at least on the actual recording, I'll be fine. But like Harley Quinn, that's a show that would not have existed without streaming services, because there's no way Warner Brothers would have put an R-rated, you know, Batman show on like regular primetime television, but with streaming you can do that. So it kind of doesn't make sense that we don't have any other, you know, Black adult animated things that can poke fun at the U.S. society, poke fun at Black culture, but still be produced by Black individuals, Black writers, Black artists. And that's just a weird time capsule that we just don't see anymore.
Yeah, and you know, it'd have to be done well. That's another thing. Like, it can be done, but like Boondocks was a quality fucking show. Even if you weren't Black, you could still enjoy it because it's still just fucking ridiculous and it's hilarious.
Right.
But there's so much room for error in that. I would want it to be, if a show were to come out like that, I would want it to be its own thing. I wouldn't want it to be like trying to be like the next gen Boondocks. No, do your own fucking thing, but have it, you know, related to the Black experience.
Make sure you cast Regina King, the voice of Huey and Riley. At least that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Love
That
her.
would be pretty dope.
Mm. Oh, and the show that you were talking about, Brian, was Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
See, I know something. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
Mhm.
I mean,
Dinosaur girl.
And that's
a rarer.
Oh my god!
don't
what
ever
the
do that again.
fuck? Not the rar. Woo.
Okay, moving on. 4 o'clock. I think a lot of us went to the same one, the bad anime descriptions trivia.
Oh, let
Yeah.
me talk about this one, bro. Let me start with this one because this shit made me mad. Okay,
Mm.
so bad. It was basically along the same lines as the one we had went to earlier that same day, the Guess That Anime, except it's slightly different. Now you're looking at a bad description of the anime, and you try to guess from that. In concept, it's amazing. The execution of that first one, the Guess the Anime, the execution on that was great. The one on this one, however, was not. The guy that was over the set. It was two people over the session. One of them was really the one that was over in control of it though. Two things. He wasn't a nerd. Like he was saying throughout that whole day. He's saying throughout that whole day he does not watch anime, he did not play games. I don't know why the hell he was there.
Right, and we was like, if you don't watch anime, why are you doing a panel
Why
about
the fuck
anime?
are you doing panel at an anime convention? Like, come on. And then like he was
Okay.
they had a bunch of descriptions and they were playing them, but they weren't trying to get anybody. He wasn't trying to get anybody's like the room's attention. So it was chaos going on the whole time. He didn't break it up in any sort of way. He just had people raising their hands,
He was running through at rapid speed.
rap as hell. As soon as somebody guessed one, he already put the next one on before homeboy even got up to get his prize. The next one was already up, and then someone else is guessing on this one while we didn't even process the fact that the first one ended yet. So again, it's a whole bunch of chaos going on in the rooms, conversation going on throughout. You maybe got the people on the first row actually paying attention to the event and the rest of it, and you got me sitting in there like,
Bro, I walked out like halfway through because I'm like, this.
I should have walked out with you, bro. I shouldn't have endured that whole shit.
And
That sounds like just like some general assembly of a bunch of jackasses just gathering around in a loud space for no reason.
Right, which this goes on. I'm not going to get into this right now, but this goes on to a big gripe that I have with Momocon too, with the quality of some of the people that come in to do these panels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but to add to that panel, because I was also there, I can tell that he didn't know what he was doing, because I think he was like a fresh college grad and stuff like that. Like, not to knock anybody who's a fresh college grad and saying you don't know what you're doing, but this particular fellow already wasn't involved in the gaming or anime community, which was annoying. But also he said, "Oh, I will read the question. I read the description and then all that stuff." One thing that he could have done better was not take any answers or like point to people before he read the description. And at one point he read like one or two descriptions like halfway because people were raising their hand while he was reading, because like, "Oh, I know," because like, yeah, I get it. You read fast. Okay, chill the fuck out. Anyway, but also he just stopped reading it, and then like the former educator in me is like, accommodations if people can't see the screen, because there were a lot of people packed into that fucking panel room. If they want to participate and you say you're going to read it and you just stop reading it because you don't know how to organize your panel, you don't know how to organize like taking answers and stuff like that, you should have thought this through, my guy.
All you gotta do is tell them to be quiet. Like, you see the other panels that were more organized, they weren't afraid to tell the room to be quiet.
Exactly.
Because we all want to enjoy it, so they're gonna be quiet. But they didn't try to organize it at all. They were just trying to run through it, bro. That's stupid.
Yeah, like, don't be so, hate to throw the word out there, ableist. I'm just saying.
And before we got started, he was showing some other stuff. Like, he was showing something like personal on the screen. It was like him at like college or something like that. No, it's his graduation. That's right. It's like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. We didn't get started yet, but
That sounds something.
When it was his day of graduation, when
I just didn't like the dude. I just didn't like him.
Like, yeah, and like I hate to keep hopping on this dude, but like, come on, bro, you really gotta come. And like, there also comes the time where you're a panelist and you're who you are outside of the panel. Save that personal shit for people who care. Like, I don't care. Like,
Damn.
like
Emotional damage.
Like,
You've been very rude today. You know,
no. It's
very teetering on the edge.
It's not me being, well, I don't think of it as rude. It may come off as that, but let's
Very
be honest. You go to a convention to have fun and make these experiences, and panelists, they are there to facilitate those experiences depending on the panel. That's the key phrase, depending on the panel, because there are panels where personal experiences are relevant to what you're talking about, such as Boondocks and talking about the Black experience. Even though that's not what the panel was about, it can be construed that way, but staying on topic to specifically Boondocks, that's important. Keeping it on track. I don't need to know when you graduated. I don't need to know your major. I don't need to know what your GPA was. I don't need to know any of that. I came there for bad anime descriptions. Unless your degree is a bad anime description, I don't want to hear about it.
No, that's hilarious. I mean, that was before it got started. I was just complaining about it because I didn't like the guy.
Again, you're running an anime panel and you know nothing about anime.
Nothing.
That's
And like
You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's
because there
time.
were several times where people are like, "Oh, it's this anime," and he's like, "I don't know if that's right. Let's find out."
Like you didn't go through this before.
It's like he didn't. I don't even think he made the shit, bro. Like,
Right.
Let's find out.
Because like it was several like PowerPoint presentations and they were all like different designs, so it makes me feel like somebody else made it.
Bro,
and he had
like,
nothing to do with it.
let's talk about towards the end of that particular panel, because he started, like, once he got all the anime stuff out of the way, it went to horror movies.
Oh yeah, I was gone.
Like,
I was gone. I was
and like
gone.
like television series, because I remember I answered a question and the answer was Big Bang Theory. I'm like, what fucking panel am I at now?
bro, it wasn't anime related, bro. Some of them he went to like classic 80s, 90s like movies. Black and white shit, bro, that I would have never watched.
It's like Casablanca or something.
I'm surprised I didn't see Casablanca.
Oh my god, bro, nah, because I was like, bro, why am I don't know why I didn't leave. I should have left right with Bryan.
Bro, I left like 30 minutes in.
He went into a different like generations of media.
Yes.
Exactly.
In
Like,
general.
God, but I did get a lot of stickers because I was surprised.
So
Yeah,
like,
the
you got a lot of
surprises were-
variety too.
Oh yeah,
Stickers,
that would be the one positive thing. His prizes were stickers, and he had like a boatload of stickers.
He had a fuck ton of stickers.
So much so that at the end, when he finished everything, because I came back after I left for like 30 minutes. I came back.
Hey,
He just like, all right. He just pulled out the rest of the stickers on the table. It's like, all right, anybody wants them, go get them.
hey guys, I got more stickers than I do about knowledge.
And the
of
nerds
anime
attacked
games.
them like rabid dogs. But no,
Oh my God, that was quite the experience.
that was an experience. Now the next panel,
so-
my
Okay, so 531. We all kind of splintered. Well, I know I splintered away from y'all. So I'll be quick with mine. I went to the Evolution of a Hero Batman panel. Because I'm a big Batman fan, and it was kind of cool. We went through the kind of like the history of Batman, from his like comic book origins, and then all of his media origins. So like, and they started going over stuff like a lot of people don't know, like the 1930 serials, where it's just like these little like adventures that were like live action well before Adam West. They showed like some of those original comics where Batman just had a gun and he was just shooting people. Yeah, that was the thing. like really early Batman, he just had a gun.
God, I could not picture that at all.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Batarang, yes.
Just
9mm,
straight
no.
up pistol. And you know, it went over like Harley Quinn and her introducing the animation and the animated series, and how like she became like a main DC character from that animated show, and you know the culture of Batman, how like the Adam West one painted Batman as this goofy character comprised to like, you know, the Michael Keaton films where they try to make him dark and broody. So it was really cool, especially if you're a Batman fan. But what was the panel y'all went to during that 5:30 slot?
I didn't go to a 5:31. I went to the 6:30, the cartoon Smash.
Bro.
Okay. So yeah, let's go straight to that one.
Yes, that was my favorite. That was my favorite part, bro. Smash or Pass is exactly what you think it is, bro. It's exactly what you think it is, and that shit was hilarious. That was easily my favorite panel of the whole convention. Bro.
So this was a panel with Saber Spark and a bunch of his other friends, and to tell you how much, because they do this every year, just to let you know how many people were in there. At some point, it started like 30 minutes late, so I think the junk started like at 7.
Yeah.
They had to like literally walk to a line and count how many people were in line to verify that they had enough seats for the panel.
No, it was one of the big panel rooms too, bro. Yeah,
and it was one of the huge rooms. So like it was easy like 200 plus people that was in that one panel. And
but we got seats in the front.
Yeah, we got lucky because I think like the panel me and Clid just got out of the Batman one was like right by the line, like the front part of the line. So we kind of just etched our way in because you all was already in the line. So Clayton was already in line, Max and Khadijah was already in the line. So we just kind of just joined y'all right there. But boy, this panel.
It was wild. So
terrible.
I had a main character moment in this panel. So to give some context, it was Friday, so my cosplay day was Shigo from Kim Possible. So I was actually, you know, I'm show the face, just the face of my Shigo cosplay, you know, right there, looking all good and whatnot. So all these outrageous characters. You got Mordecai and Rigby and Muscle Man from regular show. You also had a monster from All Real Monsters and all this other stuff. It just a whole lot of questionable stuff like Wreck-It Ralph and all that stuff. But when they got to Shigo, the crowd went crazy. And then they started chanting Shigo, because I was the only person that cosplayed as Shigo in that room. So I just stood up in the chair and I started dancing and I started getting it. I'm like,
mind you, I was right by Clayton, so this entire time I'm like, I was right by Clayton.
Yeah, it's like right. So I was having my main character moment. Like there were some questionable smashes from the audience,
bro. The first one was like Mordecai, right? Like from regular show.
So it's a fucking raccoon.
So
no, he's a bird.
That's the bird.
He's a bird.
Rigby is the raccoon. All right. So to put in context how this worked, so it's like 6 panelists on there, and they have like a green sign saying yes, and then a red sign saying no, they'll pass, and the cartoon character will show up on the screen, and then people will get their immediate reaction, and then they have to do smash or pass, and then they have to justify on the panel why they would smash or pass, and then they would go into the audience and choose people why they said yeah or nay, and the choices, dog. One of them was Pete from Goofy.
Yeah.
And one of the panelists, she said she was smashed, and everybody was like, why? She was just like, I feel like he would just treat me bad, and I want that.
What?
No,
she's like, daddy issues.
I want him to treat me bad, and I want that.
There was some My Little Ponies on there, and then everybody was everybody was just disgusted. Sally Acorn from Sonic was on there.
I'm like, she's not of age, if I believe.
Freaking what's his name? Gumball's mom from
Oh yeah, Nicole.
Nicole.
Smash.
Hey yo, and it's just like the energy in that
Fucking
room.
cat.
The energy in that room cannot be like understated.
Bro,
Exactly.
that shit was unmatchable. That shit was the niggas were rioting, bro. certain ones. There's some of them that everyone was like, oh,
No.
like right.
The one I was upset that more people didn't want to smash, Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, that was a
So I was very upset because I'm like, smash, and then it was Saber. He was like, okay, come to the mic and like defend your case, blah blah blah. And I said, his name's not Wreck-It Ralph for nothing.
And then
look, DeYante, because you know these people. I need you to understand the people who it was. All of us was there, so it's me, Clayton, Max, Khalid, and Khadijah. Just Khalid and Clayton alone, and I was right by.
Yeah.
Khalid was on my right, and Clayton was on my left. Dog. the chaotic energy of those two beside me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just a big ball of just chaos.
it was
just surrounded Bryan.
Bro,
nothing you could do about it.
Bro, that shit was chaos at the time, bro. Like Clayton was not understanding when like Shigo got called, the way that everyone just laughed.
Because this was like after. So my Shigo moment was after I did the Wreck-It Ralph, because I walked up there in my cosplay and whatever like that, sat back down, and then that Shigo chant. Listen, I live for main character
So
moments.
they already knew who you were. Then they was like, oh my god.
Yes. Dog, and it's just like that, and that's one of those like moments you kind of have to be there to like really get the experience for. And one quote, I forgot what character it was, but like it was like almost a unanimous everyone. It was a female character, and he was almost unanimous. Everybody was like smash, and this one guy was like pass, and like Saber was like, okay, hold up. You was like the only one to say pass. Why did you say pass? And he walks up to the mic and he's just like, I like men more than I like women.
I like men more. He did say that.
Listen, coming from the G and LGBT, I would still smash. I'll find a way. I'll figure it out. I'm still gonna smash.
You're making it sound like it's physically impossible.
I mean, women.
It may be emotionally impossible, but it's not physically
making it very, very different dynamic.
Women, men.
So yeah, that, and they have that session like every year. So if you're going to Momocon, get in line early for that one, because that is experience, boy.
Yeah, that one was really fun.
Oh god.
Then we're gonna go to the last panel we did that day, and we kind of all filtered to this one, the 8:30 panel. Inside the ass.
The ass whooping, bro. That one was another good one. Yes, that one was another good one.
So this panel was a perfect mixture of Black culture and awkward nerd culture. Because you have both of those in the room at the same time, boy, and it was the greatest thing ever. So I'm gonna read to you this description because it's a very like politically correct description, but this description does not match what was actually in the room. So the description of Momocon app is: join us for some of the best brawls, throwdowns, and knuckle busters across anime and pop culture. We will have trivia, music, prizes, and as much trash talk as you can take. All right, cool. I'm thinking, and when I'm like looking at the description, I'm like, all right, they're gonna show like the breakdown, the analysis of these fighting techniques, and you know how this technique won in this battle. Hell no, dog.
That was not it, bro.
Dog, this panel, it was 3 black hosts. And basically, just think of a live Let's Play. That's basically what it was. So they took like fight scenes from anime, cartoons or whatever, they edit their own like stuff in there. So like they had their own funny edits within there, and then they're pausing live and commenting on it live. And
Yes.
think like RDCI world, but like niggified. That's the energy that was in there.
Ooh.
It was great, bro. The energy, the raw energy in there was hilarious, and they were not like the hosts themselves. They were hilarious.
Yeah,
Like those niggas were funny, bro. They were funny.
and they would be roasting people in the crowd. That
Yes.
was the other level. Like it was one buddy who was cosplaying as All Might, and like there was because part of it was doing like anime trivia, and before they even finished answering the question, Buddy's hand is up in the air, and it was like, he's like, bro, we didn't even answer the question, and they went back and forth. He's like, all right, all right, and everybody bust. Dog, they would be roasting people, and
Love it.
It was the
Ooh.
greatest thing ever, dog.
Like it felt like we were back in college with that one.
Yes, and it's just like that mixed with just like that really awkward, nerdy, like people that was in there too, where they were just saying some cringe shit in the mix of that. It was great. And that's another panel they do every year. It's a two-parter. The Friday one was Inside the Ass Whipping. The Saturday one was called Beatdown Brawl, Back Alley Beatdowns or whatever. And it's literally the same idea. So that pretty much was the conclusion of that first night, except for you all went to was that the first night? No, that was the second night. Second night. Okay. So that was the conclusion pretty much of that first night. Because we didn't do any of the later sessions after that.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
So we're going to wrap up this first part. But the question that we have is, if you were to go to Momocon, what things you should know about the con itself, what you should expect, and just general tips. So I'll go first. Food. If you're going to go to the con,
Man.
just know the food options in the actual convention center is $12 for a pizza.
Personal.
Personal.
13 after tax.
So like, smaller than small, a personal pizza.
No.
No, that doesn't taste good, by it's very doughy.
Yeah, it's not fully cooked.
No.
$7 glizzies.
$7.
What was it? Chicken tenders and fries for like $14. From
I
Johnny
didn't know about
Rockets,
that.
by the way.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh no.
And they had some other like little random things in there. So here's my advice for food. And this sounds so bad, but like they don't check your bag for like outside food or anything like that. So like
No.
we learned this the second day. We stopped at a racetrack, or was it a racetrack?
Yeah,
It was a
racetrack.
racetrack.
We stopped at a racetrack, loaded up on like drinks and snacks, and that's what we kind of snacked on that second day. So we don't have to kind of rely on the convention food. Two, where the convention center is, it's the Georgia World Congress Center.
Yes.
It's fairly close to the CNN Center. And we learned this the hard way on Sunday, that, well, instead of going here and eating in the convention center, we could take a 5-minute walk outside the convention center to the CNN Center, which is like a legit 5-minute walk. You don't need a car. You don't even need to cross the street. It's within eyes distance. And the CNN Center has a food court in there. And it has standard, chain fast food places, but you'll spend a lot less over there, and you'll spend the same amount of money and you get a lot more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't forget the Coke, like for $4 from the vending machine and $4.50 from the Papa Juan.
Drinks were $4.
$4 fucking dollars.
Like,
A
no.
pop. So just Walt.
Do they just think that people are just made of money because they can go to a con?
No, it's convenience, bro. If you want to get food, you have to walk to the other side of the center, walk out the door, walk into the CNN center, and then stand at a long ass line to get some food that's regular priced. Meanwhile, at the con, they have food stands all over the place. It's convenient. You don't have to walk nowhere, but you go spend 13 goddamn dollars for that personal pan pizza, and you got to spend $7 on a hot
And
dog.
nothing else.
Right. Right. That's not even including the drink. Because that first day I was just like, I had to get some food in me, so I spent $20 on that personal pan pizza, a soda, and it's Papa John's pizza, by the way. They had the audacity to charge $1 for the garlic sauce. The thing that comes free with pizza.
Free with the pizza.
They charge
$1 for that little bullshit ass thing.
Man, no.
That is highway robbery.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, it is. Yes,
So-
it is. So come with your own food.
Now here's another hack, and unfortunately Max did it on the last day, but they were there last year, so I'm assuming they're going to be here the next year. There's like this soda machine thing that's in the vendors hall. Their prices start at $20, but you get a physical mug, and anytime during the con, you can come back with that physical mug and refill up on soda for free. So if you think about that, you buy it for $20. That's enough drinks for all 4 days. You're getting your money's worth if you do it like that.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
That soda was good, by the way.
And
It enabled my addiction.
I didn't do it last year because I think the prices were more expensive last year. I think last year the price was like $35 and up, but they actually had a $20 option this year. So good on them for that. So yeah, that's on food. Parking is another headache.
Parking wasn't that bad, except for on Saturday.
Yes.
Okay,
so
Saturday, yeah.
So it's Saturday I drove. So let me talk about that. So Friday, Max drove. We went to our regular parking spot that we go to.
That's
We're
the
not gonna tell
yellow
you.
lot, right?
Yeah, it was a yellow lot. It was $20. I was like, okay, sure, why not? Saturday, if you do not are registered with the Georgia World Congress Center, where the convention was held, like if you're not registered through them, you cannot park in certain parking spots, like parking lots at all.
Which did make sense because last year when we went, we only went on Saturday last year, and the yellow lot was just general parking.
Well, probably because of the big turnout, like they already knew because like it was like thousands more who came this year to Momocon, so they had to do something. And we were driving around, we found one parking lot, $40, and it was like $40. Are you kidding me? So we had to go probably like, what was it, a 12-minute drive / a 16-minute walk away from the Georgia World Congress Center to find like $20.
And a very shady parking lot too, by the way.
It was shady, but it was legit. Like it looked shady, but it was legit. That was the crazy part. Downtown Atlanta, what's going on? Because it was like very near the Black Bean. I think that was the name of the cafe or coffee shop.
No, it was Black Coffee.
Black Coffee. Yeah, it was near there. But hey, we found it for a little over $20. That was a lucky find. But if you plan to go all 4 days, well, next year they plan to go from Thursday through Monday.
Friday through Monday.
Oh, Friday through Monday. Oh, thank God. Well, if you're planning to go through all 4 of those days,
I don't like it either.
you might want to invest in the registration. I'm not sure because like parking, if you find parking $20 each day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 2, 4, 6, that's $80 for parking alone.
Yeah.
Some places they don't even accept cards, so be prepared with cash.
Yeah, that was
We had to turn the fuck around. I'm glad we didn't because if we paid, we paid $45 for parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So parking lots that aren't cash only is my suggestion. Well, let me say that again. Parking lots that are cash only, I do not trust. If they have a QR code, if they have a designated like gate around it, I would trust it because you have a digital copy of your receipt. You can see who the vendor is, like who owns this lot, whose responsibility it is, whatever like that. So if you like somebody tries to get you a ticket or something like that, hey, you have this to come back to say, hey, I was here. The cheapest option would be, well, not cheapest, but your money will float around however it's. Find an Airbnb or a hotel near the Johto World Congress Center, so you wouldn't even have to worry about parking. But the Omni Hotel, like that's the main hotel people like book for Momocon. It's going to be expensive. It really is.
Yeah, it's good.
Also,
If you want to book it,
carpool.
Right.
Carpool.
Please carpool. Don't drive 7 cars. If you want to book like the Omni Hotel, you better book that thing like now, like right now in 2023, because they open up registration. They open up registration for Momocon 2020 for the next year before this one even ends. Like you can buy your tickets for Momocon 2024 right now
for $60 for all 4 days.
Yeah.
And also just keep in mind that kind of everything is going to be expensive because Momocon always falls on Memorial Day weekend. So keep that in mind in terms of flights, food, parking. Everything's going to kind of have the tax just because it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Because downtown Atlanta, that's also the location of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the State Farm Arena.
Bro, all that junk is in like one big square. Like it makes no sense.
And there's things happening, bro. It is. Yeah. It's one box of stuff in downtown Atlanta. And there's things going on in all locations. So there's like sweet spots for you to get out of there. If not, you're going to be stuck in traffic forever.
Dude. Well, which leads to my next advice. Cosplaying at a convention. So this was the very first time that I ever cosplayed. So my first cosplay, as I said, was Shigo when we went Friday. My advice, nobody knows your costume better than you. And I say this so because maybe there's a hem that might come loose. Maybe there is something going on with your wig. Carry a mini packet of supplies in your bag with all the stuff that you need to repair your cosplay on the spot. Yes, there are cosplay like assistants, like there are different spots like on the map. They'll tell you, oh, go here for cosplay help. They don't know your cosplay 100%. They don't know where you got it from. They don't know it. Like if you made your own cosplay, I didn't make my own. I bought everything. Go that route because I carry double-sided tape like to fix like a hem, like if it comes loose or something like that. Or like even fix something with my wig, bring a brush, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Again, nobody knows your costume more than you. And also, being true to life is not more important than your comfort. And I say this because my second day I cosplayed as Raven from Teen Titans. I had on these boots, like thick heel boots. Like the only reason I survived the entire convention and later the rave, even though I didn't wear those boots, was because I have experience wearing those boots for longer periods of time. But if it's your first time cosplaying and you want like the highest heel, like because it's going to be accurate, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to walk a lot. You're going to interact with people.
Bring comfortable shoes. It is like, a lot of walking.
Like if you want to do the option, like I put my shoes in Bryan's bag Saturday and I just switched to like, oh, I'm going to put on the boots, like, oh, or I'm going to put on my tennis shoes and stuff like that. So if you have a friend that is willing to do that, like just ask them and make sure that's okay. And stay hydrated because no matter what costume you wear, like even with my Shigo cosplay, like it was just one big piece of fabric with designs and stuff like that. It was hot. And the only thing I wore was my undergarments. It was hot. So stay hydrated. Your comfort comes above anybody else. Like even when I cosplayed as Raven, I wore Spanx underneath my leotard because I wasn't comfortable wearing having all that skin showing from my legs. I'm like,
But a lot of people were comfortable with skin showing on their
Boy,
cosplay.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. There was a lot of things moving, boy.
listen,
On display. And
like every step.
A lot of cosplaying.
not even
a
a
lot
lot of
of
cosplay and just
skin, cheeks.
a lot of skin, cheeks out in the wind, boy.
Mhm.
But what's it called? Yes. Also, be aware. Be ready to become a victim of chemical warfare at any point in time. That's just the nature of an anime convention.
Excuse me.
Niggas don't bathe.
Oh.
You
Thought you
gotta
meant
be a
like
victim
people
of
like just
chem-
spraying stuff on.
Like
No,
they got
no,
a toxic
no.
bottle in their hand. They're just walking
No,
around, just
no.
splashing
I'm
people.
talking. If it's a liquid, it's their body odor. It's whatever.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's like
I don't think that there's not been one time, and I've been to Momocon 4 times. There's not been one time where I didn't smell some form of funk. Like you're gonna smell it at some point. Just be ready. It's an anime convention. Some people, that's the first time they came out ever.
mhm.
Dang.
But yeah, I think that's all I have for cosplay. Oh wait. I think the best advice, if you gonna get a wig, secure it. Secure it. I'll explain more in the next episode why I really am wig security being in place.
And I think my biggest thing too is experience the convention. Have fun with it. Like this time when we went, we were really centered about going to the panels. And yeah, I enjoyed that, but there was a moment on it was on Saturday. There was a moment on Saturday where I went to go eat, and after that, I didn't go straight back to the panels. I took a moment to just walk around the convention. I chilled out in the courtyard for a bit. There was the whole dance party happening in the courtyard. People just sitting around, talking to each other, having fun. And then you go to the exhibition hall. I didn't even know that they did like wrestling.
Oh yeah.
That was my first time seeing it. It's crazy. And that shit was fun. That shit was hilarious too. Enjoy the convention. There's so many things to experience there. Like even stuff I haven't even mentioned. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons, you can do that. If you're into they have a variety of different like card games, like tabletop games there for you to play too. It's not just video games. Like there's so much shit there. You cannot experience all of it going to Momocon one time.
Mhm.
So enjoy what you can while you're there. And just do it how you want to do it.
And to add to that, and if you're cosplaying oh, I don't know how to play a certain game, on the lowest level with the tournaments and all that stuff, there is all the way pushed to the side. There are many tables with tabletop games where you could just check it out, go to a table, and they have these flags need help or I know what I'm doing, essentially like that. So if you want to start playing a new tabletop game, somebody can come to you and be like, hey, I know how to play this. Here's how you play it. And I feel like that's the part of experiencing a convention that we kind of failed to realize this time, is that it's about community. And it's about experiencing that community with members of the community. Because I had quite a few interactions with people that were not in the friend group that we took to Momocon this year. But one thing I did realize, I was way less engaged with other people. I understand that the people are either introverted or something like that. So, and this is also a good open place for probably even practicing social skills. One of the skills that's very needed these days, outside of the convention setting. Learn how to go up to people, say, hey, I like your costume, because that happened to me. People came up to me hey, I like your costume, I love your Shigo, I love your Raven, can I take a picture? Something as simple as that can, one, make somebody, the cosplayer, very happy. To make the person who's taking a picture with possibly their favorite character, you'll never know if you don't ask questions. Just do it. Do it.
It's fun. Momocon's one of the bigger conventions. It's tried and true. They got big time names that always show up. They got it's always like big time tournaments. You can go tune into the Smash tournament. They got big names that play over there. That's hype as hell. Brian, me and Brian sat there for a little bit and just watched.
Yeah.
It's bro. I can't understate how much stuff there is to do at Momocon. It's really fun.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this discussion. We'll do the second episode where we'll go about a day 2 and day 3 experience, as well as the stuff we did at the vendor halls. So thank y'all for listening. Be sure to catch the next one that we have coming up, so you get the full story. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. It was a great experience, and we'll definitely plan to go again next year.
Yeah, for sure.
And buy deodorant if you do.
Please.
Dove,
maybe I'll be
deodorant,
there.
degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna force you.
The more the merrier. If I can make it from Oklahoma to Georgia, which I plan on doing.
Right. It's
Yeah,
simple.
make it
We'll fly to Virginia, physically kidnap DeYante, put him onto a plane, send him down to Georgia, and then he'll be there. You got to find your way back, though.
See, find your own way back. That's like a 6.5-hour drive.
Oh my god.
At that point, I'm gonna just stay my ass home.
No, the goal is to get you there. It's gonna be on your own to get back home.
What if I get kidnapped and they don't even give me? I don't even get to get none of my stuff. I don't have no clothes, no money, no nothing.
We just said we're kidnapped.
No phone.
We didn't talk about any about luggage. We didn't talk about food.
Like, you're forcing me.
We're gonna force you
to
be
have
there.
fun.
Yes.
With no money, no food, no lodging.
Welcome to Atlanta, baby.
Okay, last thing before we go. Mind you, Max and Clayton had picked me up from the airport.
Bro.
Literally, I haven't been in Atlanta for 30 minutes, and I already seen my first crackhead coming up to the car. It was immediately.
Bro.
That's normal. When I got picked up. When I got picked up, when Khadijah picked me up from the airport, saw Greg at early in the morning. It was 7 o'clock. Right out of Hartsfield.
Even when I was walking, looking for food that one night that I cosplayed as Shigo, that Friday, and I just passed by this homeless man, and he was like, ma'am, do you have any? Because I got mistaken as a female many times that day.
That was hilarious. By the way, we had placed a bet on how much, how many times Clayton's gonna be mistaken as female. On a Friday, I got it right on the money. I said 8 times.
I said
and he got
12.
mistaken for a female 8 times.
And then our other friend was the closest, because for some reason I wasn't mistaken as a female more. Excuse me, with my Raven cosplay in comparison,
Which was
to my
surprising.
Very surprising, because the curves were curving, the body was body-yachting.
And just to jump in real quick, don't come to this convention if you have a problem with men in dresses, because you're going to see that a lot.
You're going to see more men in dresses than females in dresses. Just be ready for it.
You're going to see that a lot. You're going to see a lot of males in dresses. It's going to happen a lot.
Hashtag femboys. Hashtag ooh.
All right, we're stopping. Goodbye. We're done. Jesus,
Have a good ass week.